Hello, lovely beings. I'm here to talk about, or at least open a conversation about this idea of meditation. Even the word meditation kind of vibes me the wrong way because everyone takes it quite seriously. And most people say, "Oh, I suck at meditating. I can't meditate." This is just because we've kind of placed it in this category of the only people who are really good at meditating are the ones who are like levitating on a cloud after they just returned from their spiritual pilgrimage and became vegan and taken a vow of chastity. This is just not an accurate perspective. Every single human being has access to finding what I define as like a deeper layer of yourself. We have this layer of thought. And most of us kind of live quite frequently in that space of thinking, thinking, thinking. And in my sort of research regarding meditation, so my two besties and I went to the island and did a meditation retreat, which I think is funny. If you stick me in a room full of people, I just want to be like, oh, what do you think about meditation? Oh, you look really good at it while you're meditating. What kind of clothes do you like to wear when you meditate? I did my best to behave, but anyways, the point of this, when we were in the little town where the retreat was, there was this very quaint store that had a little board outside written on it. You shall become free when you realize the cage is made of thoughts. You shall become free when you realize the cage is made of thoughts. If you let that kind of marinate and sink into you, this is you could say, the quest of meditation that has a bit of a duality to it. People think meditation is not thinking. Don't think. Let me tell you something. I studied personal training. So I bought this book. It's called Neuro Linguistic Programming for Dummies. I don't figure myself a dummy, but also if they could summarize things into a way that I wouldn't need to take 5 years to learn it, that's kind of works into my timeline. NLP, they shorten it to NLP. It's saying your brain needs something to do. It doesn't understand a negative. You can't say don't do this because what it hears is do this. As soon as I say don't think about the color blue, your brain hears the color blue and think, and it'll start thinking about the color blue. If you go into meditation thinking I need to not think, this is kind of a double-edged sword. If you shift your perspective, or maybe I call it a reframe, into I'm going to connect to a deeper layer of myself. It gives you something to do. It gives that intention of I'm going to do this thing instead of I'm not going to do this thing. So that's kind of the first thing. The second thing is it's very hard to control thoughts. They're quite incessant, and that's just the way we are as humans. Sometimes if you give your thought brain something to do, or if you can direct your thoughts into something kind of specific, this can help you sort of settle the monkey brain and allow you to step into a place that's a little more peaceful. So here's something, if you give your brain something to do that's connected to something that's peaceful. For example, one of my dear friends was in Bali and found a very beautiful yoga retreat place. And the facilitator there, he gave them this idea. What if you took some breaths and counted them? And it sounds something like this. Inhale, 19. Exhale, 19. Inhale, 18. Exhale, 18. But of course, everyone's thinking, what's the significance of the number 19 or 18? It's nothing. It's just to keep your brain focused on something so that you're giving it something to do as you breathe. Breath is the number one thing that can hold, well, I judge it as that can hold you in the current moment you're in. You can only take one breath at a time. And there's a lot of things to attach your awareness to as you breathe that can really pull you into the present moment. And that's what, to me, this word meditation is just being in the present moment and finding peacefulness. And that can happen in any number of ways. For example, I brewed myself a cup of coffee. It's actually a decaf cup of coffee. And even people judge coffee and say, "Oh goodness, don't drink coffee. That's whatever. That's not spiritual." I'm going to have a coffee as I attempt to find a peaceful space inside myself, because sometimes just holding a cup and feeling the texture of the cup and smelling it before I take a sip, and as I have a taste of it, really noticing how it tastes, the texture of it, if I've added something to it, how it smells, all of these things. It takes you into what you're experiencing in the moment. So you can have a cup of coffee, that can be meditative. You can also be out in nature. A lot of people have very connected, they find a deeper layer inside themselves when they're in the forest or on the water or on a beach, or just somewhere that's quite filled with things that are in a natural form. And even saying that, if some people's vibes are kind of being in a busy place where they feel the energy of life and a lot of movement, and it's really a personal getting to know what brings you, what connects you to a deeper layer of yourself. For me, I like to usually play some kind of music that doesn't have a chorus or words, because my brain will very quickly start singing or noticing words, or rhythms or something repetitive. So some kind of, it's usually, spa type of music, or sounds that are hard to find a rhythm, but they feel soothing to me. I usually play something like that, and I'll take some moments. I usually hold something so my hands feel like there's something going on there that distracts a part of me that wants to fidget. And I take some breaths. This is the only thing that needs to happen. I wouldn't say the only thing, but if you just for a moment take your awareness, so the things you're paying attention to, that's it, your awareness, or some people say consciousness, but your awareness, and connect it to anything that's happening in the very moment you're in. It can be taking a sip of coffee. Breath is something, if you can harness the connectedness through breath. Breath is very connected to your nervous system. How your body breathes really gives you some information about what kind of state it's in. You've probably heard about these things of fight or flight, or rest and digest, or those kinds of ideas. Smooth, deep breaths through your nose is usually quite conducive and connected to feeling, or allowing your body to release a bit of stress or to relax. So if you take a moment, settle your body, or even movement. Some people feel very connected. I'm actually one of those people. I love to move. I love to dance. I love to be in that physical state of movement. And also I have added stillness to that. I actually couldn't be still, and now I'm learning. So I sit, I usually have a cup of coffee with me. I start by taking a couple of deep breaths and just feeling how my body shifts and moves as it breathes. Feel how, and I teach yoga, it's one of the things that I teach. You feel what's moving. Belly moves. You want your belly to move as you breathe. It moves out as you inhale. You want to see or feel, sense how your lungs expand and your breath rises all the way to the collarbones. This is called 3-part breath. So belly moves, you expand your lungs, you feel that rising, and then notice what happens as you exhale. You don't even need to have an intention of breathing in that way. Just starting to notice how you breathe. Pay attention. That's just called presence. How deeply are you breathing? The speed of how you're breathing. Just notice. Are your breaths smooth? Take one breath, even just a half. Inhale. Notice how it feels. This is the first step, or even I feel like it's quite accessible. We're always all breathing. Here's hoping you are. Just sitting with your breath and taking a few moments to notice how it feels is a beautiful way to begin on this journey towards finding a way to feel peaceful in your life. So, coffee, movement, breath. Just take some deep breaths and settle in. I usually say to people, take a few deep breaths, just sit with that and see where it leads you. If your mind has a hard time connecting and paying attention to how you breathe, add something. You can touch something that has texture. Give you have these five senses. You could even eat something. Notice how it tastes. Notice the texture of whatever, a cookie. And I did say cookie. We can all have cookies from time to time. Notice how it tastes. You can listen to some kind of music or sounds, or you can look at something, a candle burning. Flames can be quite meditative or soothing. You can, touch. I have made some beads, for example. I made these beads out of clay, and just touching the smooth texture. Some people use meditation beads, kind of feeling as they shift from each one. You can sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. So you can use all of your senses to just bring you into what you're experiencing in the moment. And that's all that meditation is. It's the practice of presence and finding peacefulness. So I wish for you a beautiful journey towards just unraveling what meditation is and isn't for you. And if you need any support, keep watching. I'm going to release a whole bunch of videos just supporting people, doing some guided meditations where you can listen. I'll hopefully keep that part of your brain active and also give it something to do that leads towards those sensations of feeling peaceful or releasing stress. So here we go together. Best of luck to you. And also, I always say to people, I interlace my fingers and say, this is a symbol of the interconnectedness of all things. There is a space inside of us all where we are all connected, or at least we're sharing experience of humanness. That's another, you could say, incentive to start this, at least curiosity, a bit of inquiry about what is this thing that we're trying to find or create in ourselves that's linked to peacefulness. And it's also linked to connectedness with others. So that part of me wishes you just so much, you could say, peace or joy, or feelings of encouragement as you start that path of finding peace for yourself. So